Games are dying, or at least that's what people keep saying. And it feels like almost no matter where you look, you're surrounded by the same negative comments and just pure hatred for what feels like every single game on the planet. On Twitter, people are attacking devs for poor quality releases. On Reddit, people are writing essays on why games are overpriced. And on YouTube, people are releasing videos on how longtime classic series are dead. Even when I talk to my friends, they say the exact same thing. Games are dead. And it feels like that mindset is causing everyone to have this extremely negative perception on the current gaming landscape. Sure, we live in a time where more and more games are just straight up broken on release, or where games are developed with the intent to extract as much of our money as possible and provide the smallest, tiniest amount of value in return. And yeah, it feels like we constantly hear horror stories about how these mega corporations are basically treating their employees like slaves, chaining them to the desk and forcing them to work 5,000 hours a week to guarantee the game ships on time with a day one patch waiting in the wings that probably also doesn't even work. The entire system is broken, or at least it feels like it. Games are costing more money, and yet they never seem to work. Publishers just love to nickel and dime us for every single feature in their game when it ships as the most bare bones experience possible. So why are we paying more? Games as a service are on the rise, single-player experiences are disappearing, Twitch streamers do more reacting than actual playing, and even games that we believe in 100% and know for a fact will be amazing seem to fall apart behind the scenes and probably have no chance at actually releasing. It feels like dark times in the gaming world. Or does it? Listen, what if I told you that while publishers are greedy little bitches, and yeah, a lot of PC ports are broken pieces of garbage, games are actually in the best state that they've ever been in, and that there's more choices of amazing games to play than ever before. People keep saying games are dead, but you know what? Fuck that, man. Games are alive. Games are thriving. You just need to pay attention. So start listening. I want to start with the discussion of the $70 game, or if you're in Canada, the practically $100 game. This is one of the biggest topics when it comes to the discussion of games being dead because a lot of people have giant issues with this $10 price increase, bringing the baseline from 60 to 70. They feel like the greedy publishers are just trying to squeeze out every last penny out of us that they can. But you're wrong. Well, I mean, not entirely. They are trying to drain you of every dollar you have, but that's not in the price increase. They do that through microtransactions and fear of missing out by releasing these limited time skins that look so crazy that you're practically forced to hand over all of your cash so you don't get left behind. You want to be the only fucking loser at school that doesn't have the Optimus Prime skin in Fortnite? No! So you're gonna buy that shit. You're gonna steal your mom's credit card and you're gonna buy that shit. Or games like Genshin Impact, where you're bogged down so bad by cooldowns that the only way to stay up to date and actually play the game at a normal pace requires you to spend everything you got. I mean, look at some of these streamers. They spend thousands of dollars on that game. Thousands. For what? And it's through actions like this that the publishers are actually being greedy. It's not through the $10 price increase of the base game. And let me tell you why. I'm just gonna go by US pricing to simplify things. But for the longest time, games have cost $60. Let's say that roughly started in the Xbox 360 PS3 era, where a standard cost of games was set. Since that time, we're talking like 2005, 2006-ish era, shit like that, the cost of games has been stable. Other than indies or whatever, like small, I'm talking the big releases here, my man. So from 2006 to now, 2023, the price of games has gone up $10, right? Okay. Do you know how much it cost to develop a AAA game in 2006? Roughly $15 to $20 million. Do you know how much they cost even 10 years later, where the price was still at $60? Almost 10 times that amount, sitting comfortably between the ranges of $100 million to $200 million. Do you hear what I'm saying? And that's not even including games like Red Dead Redemption 2 or Halo Infinite, both of which approach budgets of almost $500 million, billion with a B, billion. And yet the price remained at $60. And now with costs rising even higher, plus inflation, and all these other global factors that can have an effect on production and costs, I'm talking COVID, I'm talking Ukraine-Russia war, I'm talking all this other crap, they've finally increased the price. And people are losing it.
How dare they? How could they? This is my hard-earned money, $10.
Meanwhile, in the last 20 years, people forget that gas has more than doubled in price, Netflix went from $8 to $20, and even chocolate bars have decreased in size, but the price goes up. You want to talk about price increases? A fucking Mr. Beast chocolate bar is like $15 here. It's a piece of chocolate. But the complaints for those are low because people just seem to accept it and move on. I mean, a bag of Doritos is like $6 now. A Doritos. But somehow it's games that are being outrageous. If we're being totally real, then games should be well over $100 per title. For not only the amount of value that many of them bring, but simply because the cost to produce is unbelievably high. I mean, even look at movies. A ticket to the theater was like $7, and now it's almost 20. I don't see any complaints about that, and that's an experience that's over and done with in 2 hours, where some of these games you're getting a 100-hour plus experience and then you're bitching about paying an extra $10. Like, what are you talking about, my man? These are also the same type of people that freak out about the cost of games but have no issues dropping hundreds of dollars on Valorant skins. Like,
Oh my god, they want me to pay $50 for this? Whoa, a $35 skin, sign me up!
you're dumb. And it's ridiculous. But listen, I understand for some people that maybe the price increase is just too much, and it gets you to rethink some of your gaming choices. And that's totally fine. It's completely understandable. But what you do need to understand is that gaming is a premium hobby. Consoles are expensive, gaming gear is expensive, and it's just not designed to be cheap. But it does present cheap options. Options that didn't exist in the past that exist today. Game Pass, you can get it for like $1, and you can also play on your phone. You can use GeForce Now and stream games from like a supercomputer located somewhere hidden in America. You understand what I'm talking about? People always forget that. And people always forget that games actually cost more before they settled on the standard of $60. So it's not the $10 price increase that's the problem. It's the predatory item shops and battle passes. And yeah, it sucks when you pay for a game that's broken, but it's also the people's problem for continuing to buy whatever garbage the industry throws at us. Which leads me to point 2. Stop buying bullshit. No one is forcing you to buy any game, okay? Fucking Bobby Kotick isn't in your room with a gun in your head forcing you to buy Modern Warfare and then get the Battle Pass and then the anti-LGBT Nick Merck skin, okay? No one is forcing you to do that. You bought it because you want to. And if you bought it without knowing how busted and broken the game is, then that's literally 100% on you. Every single game that's released gets coverage in some sort of way, whether it be through streamers or journalists, but games get covered. You know a game is going to be bad, either on release or before. So instead of spending 35 seconds Googling the game to see if it even runs properly, you'd rather just pay up the big bucks and then whine like a little broke bitch afterwards about it. That's on you! No other way to say it. You don't need to play it on day one. You don't need to buy those overpriced skins. You don't need the battle pass. If the game doesn't work, don't fucking buy it, man. And yeah, the monetization is going overboard. And you're the only cuck around here that's spending their money on it. Okay? You're the cuck. Do you like being a cuck? I mean, if you do, that's fine. Just don't go around crying about it like you got ripped off for buying the Ultra Mega Giga Edition Early Access Spectacular, even though all the signs pointed to the game being a complete piece of garbage. That's a you problem, dude. That's on you. And I know it seems like a lot of these companies are releasing unfinished games with barely any content with the promise of something magical to suddenly appear out of thin air 6 months down the road like Halo Infinite, and that's great. But no one is forcing you to buy the unfinished mess. You can wait.
You wait.
That's literally all you have to do. You want them to stop releasing garbage? Stop buying it. Because the second you buy it, they don't give a shit about your complaints. They got your cash. That's all that matters. They're taking your cash, they're putting it in their pockets, and they're looking at you and say,
You got a tiny smooth brain.
you're dumb. Okay? Vote with your wallet. Stop buying broken games. There's a lot of dumbass losers out there, and that's putting it extremely lightly. But there are people out there who are just looking to start problems and begging for a reason to call things out and turn nothing into something. And instead of ignoring all these morons, we give them all of the attention they desire, which not only makes their stupid statements reach a wider audience of morons that repeat it, but it also guarantees that other people start believing it and forming a more negative opinion overall. And then these same people are begging for almost like a real-life console war to happen because they think that by worshiping Nintendo or PlayStation, they're going to be the first person on Earth to get the inside scoop on PlayStation 6 or Switch 2 or some shit. But no, you're just dumb. Take a good long look at yourself in the mirror and realize this. No one likes you. But what people do like are games. Amazing games that have you visiting unbelievable worlds and doing things you never thought possible. Games that take you on a journey. Games that give you the power to do anything you want. Games that are small or games that are massive. People keep saying games are dead, but it's the industry and the publishers that are sucking the life out of it. The studios and the people working on these games are trying their absolute hardest to give us some of the most amazing games possible. I mean, we live in a time where there are literally games for everyone. No matter what genre you like or what you're into or what graphic style or what you think is cool or what you want to play by yourself or play with your friends. There are games for everyone. So whether you want to play on the go or play with some virtual boobies in the secrecy of your own home, that's possible with games today. Not before, today. So games aren't dead. They're alive, and they're more alive than ever. You just need to stand up to the poorly run publishers. You need to stop buying broken games. You need to stop buying overpriced microtransactions. Play what you like. Play everything, honestly. Games aren't dead, and games aren't dying. So stop crying, stop whining, stop being a little bitch, play something good. Games are alive.